Welcome to a new video in my home automation series, and I'm going through my Zemismart, a lot of products that I received recently. And I thought I'm going to do these two lamps or light bulbs at the moment. Both of them are Matter compatible, and we have one which is like an old, filament style, which I guess it can do color temperature because I can see two different colors of filament there. And we have a more traditional like RGB and color temperature light bulb. And the reason I'm reviewing both of them at the same time because to be honest, there is not an awful lot that you can do with a lamp. I mean, yeah, you control the brightness, the colors, that sort of stuff. So I think we can finish this relatively quickly. But before we go ahead, I just wanted to quickly go through the listings so we can look at the specs. So this is the light bulb, which is the the regular one. And actually, what I noticed is that there are two different versions. So there is the A60, the one that I have, and that's only for 220 to 240 volts. And then the other one is the A19, that's for 120 volts. So just make sure that you don't just buy one, just buy the one which is good for your local grid and your voltage. And by the way, you can see the price here. There is a special sale running at the moment, which, it's definitely going to be over by the time I release this video. So I'm not really sure what the price is going to be after that, whether this is that sale price or that just an extra 5 or 6% off. And it is 9 watts and E27, the screw type. And yeah, I mean, it's Matter compatible, so it works with all the different systems, and you can control, voice control, Alexa, Google, Bixby, and Siri, and the color temperature goes all the way from these color temperatures. Let me just see if I get a spec. Yeah, 3000 to 6500 Kelvin. And that's it. And it's, the US one is a slightly different, 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. But the rest is exactly the same. And the other one is this filament light bulb, which is, so this is Matter over, so it is Matter over Wi-Fi. This is 7 watts, and this one, actually this one is sort of like European voltage only, so 220 to 240. So I guess not only European, but so if you are from the US, don't buy this lamp, or at least this particular product, because it looks like that there is only a 220 to 240 voltage variant available from this one. And it's quite bright. To be honest, I don't think I have seen 7 watts from 2 filaments only. I mean, it's a fairly large bulb, so the filament is quite long, but still. Let me scroll down to the specs, and yeah, it doesn't really say anything about the Kelvin, but that's it. Okay, let's quickly do the unboxing. And actually, I think it's probably on the other side. No, this side. Okay, I might just edit this out, this struggle. So this is one of the light bulbs. And the other one, I think it's going to be more traditional looking. Yeah, that's the other one. I don't think I really have to look at the documentation because it's not going to be awful. I mean, that's only one of the documentation, but yeah. So if you need to if you need to repair it, you have to power cycle it 5 times. But that's the usual process for these LED lamps. Yeah, and we get a couple of screenshots which look like an Apple HomeKit screenshot. But I have Google, so I'm just going to do Google. Oh, actually, there is screenshots for Alexa, Google Home, and I'm not really sure what's the rest. I think that's Google Home, and these are the Alexa screenshots. Okay, that should be fairly easy, and I'm going to use my Google Home, as I said. Okay, Google Home is running, and I'm going to start with the filament bulb. And I'm just going to screw this in. Yeah, so we do have the Matter logo here, which I guess you would need to, well, you would probably remove this. So in this case, you need to, I would say it's better that you save this sticker somewhere. Maybe you can note down the number, not necessarily the QR code, because on the other, the QR code is printed on, so that's going to stay there forever. But for this filament bulb, yeah, you eventually going to use the QR code, which is not going to be nice. Ooh, that's very bright. Obviously, there is no flicker in real life, but it does flicker when through the camera. Okay, so devices, and then add Matter enable device, and then yes, let's look at the QR code. Can we? Yes, we can scan the QR code and agree. And yeah, connecting the device. I think probably I'm going to edit this out because it usually takes a long time to connect to this device. Okay, and now it is connected, and it did change the color temperature. And I'm going to say, I think I have something which says it's a test room. Well, I have something here which is called a Matter test board, which anyway. And create a unique name for the device, and Zemismart Matter. Yep, done. Next. Okay. Oh, the flickering stopped on the recording. That's nice. And I just need to find this one because, oh Jesus. Matter test board, it's here. Yeah, I can control, and it does a nice, you know, fade in, fade out. And so the camera is set to auto, but I think by the sort of like the darkening of the scene, you can get an idea of the you know, how bright it is. I mean, it is really, really bright. So at the moment it is set to, I think this is probably like the warm white. Yeah. And I can get it to cool white. And actually, if I take down the brightness, even more. Okay. Yeah, so if I bring it any closer, I think maybe you would be able to make out how it changes the different filaments. So obviously there are two filaments for warm white, there are two filaments for cold white, and it's just changing the intensity between the two of them to generate any color temperature in between. And again, you can see how it changes between the two. I mean, you get these specs of, you know, either 3000 Kelvin or 65,000. So obviously the 65,000 is almost like a, you know, bluish light, and the 3500 is very, very warm. The only interesting thing is that so now it is the warmest, and only the warm LED is lit. But if I go to the coolest, still the warm LED is lit just a little bit. So I can't go full cool light. But to be honest, even this one I quite like. I don't think it's probably, you know, 65,000 Kelvin, just because of the warm white is still lit. But it's nice. And as I said, if you watch my, you know, pre-review video, I'm absolutely amazed that they managed to get all the electronics into the stem, or the, you know, the screw mount of this light. And actually what I wanted to test is I wanted to run this for a couple of minutes and then see how warm the base gets, because, you know, that has all the electronics, the power supply and everything. So, and it's a really small package. So as opposed to, let's say, the other type of lights like this one, which has a big metal base, this doesn't have an awful lot. Okay, and I mean, to be honest, that's pretty much it. You can control all these colors and everything. And I mean, here we only have the color temperature, so you can't do anything else. On an RGB LED light, you would have another color wheel, but this is just the regular white light where you can control the color temperature. Okay, so I connected to my infrared camera, and let's see. I mean, yeah, it is definitely warm, but it's, what does it say? Oh, okay, yeah, my USB power supply is warmer. Okay, so it's not that bad. It says 32 degrees, 31 degrees, and sort of the ambient is the 23 that you can see in the background. So it is 10 degrees above ambient. Well, I'm only running it for a couple of minutes now. But the LED strips or the filaments don't appear to be that warm. But yep, that's not bad. I think that's okay. Let me unscrew it and then we can see if I can get a direct reading. I can definitely hold the LED lamp. It's not warm. And if I look at this, I mean, it definitely has an emissivity because of the 36. So because of the shiny metal, but this plastic is, I think it's a better place to measure the temperature. It's not getting awfully warm, and of course it will be interesting to test this after 1 hour when I use it, but so far it's good. It doesn't seem to be awfully hot, and it seems to be handling all the thermals in this very small package. So I think that's good. So moving this to the side, I'm going to connect my second lamp. Okay, so it does the flickery thing because it goes into pairing mode. And so I just add new device, Matter enabled device. And here I can easily scan the, oh, that was quick, easily scan the QR code because it's on the base of the lamp. And now we just wait for the connection. So this has connected as well, and I moved it to my room and I give it a name. I have to say that this is also a fairly bright LED. I'm doing all this recording during the daytime, but it definitely makes a big difference to this. Well, I have a relatively small room, but yeah, I mean 9 watts, you expect that sort of brightness from a 9-watt LED bulb, and yep, it does the fade in and a fade out as well. That's nice. Actually, I think I'm controlling 2 of them. Yeah. Maybe what I will do is, well, the filament light is off, is offline now because I just unplugged it. But what I can do is, oh, I thought I can change the type, but obviously I can't because both of them are light bulbs. Normally for the sockets, if you have assigned a different type, then it breaks it apart into 2 separate ones. But yeah, it's not going to happen for this one. So I'm going to control it like that. Yeah, you get a nice fade in and a fade out. And if I just double click on this one, and sorry, if I long press, then I can, I already had these settings, and I can cycle through the different color temperatures. And if I go to the coolest one, I think it is a slightly bit cooler than the filament one. But it is a nice range of, between warm lights and cool lights. And maybe you can see also the reflection on my face. Yeah, a little bit. It's down there. Oh, maybe on the shirt. Okay, that's cool. And here I have the option to change the colors as well. There is also like a short fade between the different colors that appears to be a little bit flickery, but it works just fine. And I think, based on the color, I mean, the camera is doing some weird artifacts, but I think based on sort of the color and the brightness, I think what the lamp is doing is, I think it keeps the white LEDs lit as well with the colors, because I don't feel the colors are really, extremely saturated. I think they are definitely, the colors that you would expect. It's a nice green, it's a nice white, let's say red and, orange. But then at the same time, it also gives a sufficient amount of light. I mean, sometimes with these LED light bulbs, these RGB light bulbs, what I notice that, there are some colors that are giving off more lumens than others. And then you would notice that you change the colors around and the brightness, fluctuate quite a lot, because red tend to be less bright than, let's say, blue, I think, or green. But for this one, I think the brightness is more uniform as you change the colors and you pick a different color, which I think it's probably better for, you know, like a general application when you want to illuminate the room, as opposed to being, you know, a pure white, sorry, a pure red or a pure green or a, you know, whatever color. So I think that's nice. And yeah, but still, when you change to the color temperature mode, you know, the warm white and the cold white, the brightness is definitely more. So I would say probably the difference is like, could be like another 40% more brightness. I mean, I don't have a device to measure brightness, but that's how it feels like. But again, that's normal. This is how usually these lamps operate. So obviously they have more white LED chips, I think, than RGB. So when you change the RGB, then definitely it's going to be less brightness. But again, as I said, the brightness across all the different colors are very uniform, which is, I think it's quite nice. And at the moment, the base is getting a little bit warm, but not so much. Well, since I have the application, let's just check again. I'm not sure if I can switch. Oh, no, it works. Okay, so it says 39 degrees as opposed to, let's say, the ambient 25. And it looks like that the temperature is fairly uniform across these bays. So it's definitely warmer than my hand, as you can see it here, but it doesn't feel awfully warm. So it's just like, you know, 40 degrees is definitely something that you can hold, and it's not warm at all. So it's not like that it gets awfully warm after a short period of time. Okay, that's good. And to be honest, I think with this I will conclude my review of these two LED light bulbs, because, you know, I mean, LED light bulbs, they work, they produce a, you know, a decent amount of light, both of them. I mean, definitely I'm probably more surprised of the filament light bulbs, because most of the filament light bulbs I had in the past are like usually, you know, lower wattage. So this one appears to be, you know, specifically bright for me. But again, it is, you know, a fairly big lamp, as you can see here. So there is like long filament, so it can produce a lot of light. They are easy to use. They are Matter compatible. So if you have Google, Alexa, Apple, or any Matter compatible system, or if you want to use this, you can buy the Zemismart Zemismart M1 hub, which is a Zigbee and a Matter hub at the same time. Then you can just use it. They are easy to configure, easy to add to all these applications, and, you know, controlling them is also easy. And you get all the features that you would expect: controlling brightness, controlling color temperature, and for this one you can also obviously control the RGB colors as well. If you are interested in any of these two products, you can find purchasing links in the video description. But I think that will be all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you next video.